Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this MSI Stealth GS77 12UE-046US-BB71270H16GXXDX11MA. Alright, so anyways, we're going to be using a, let's see, J1? Yeah, J1 or PH1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 4 going across here. Okay, it looks like we got 4 going across this side and then one in the middle, an extra one in the middle there. So actually 5. Okay, there is a battery reset hole here. So if you use like a folded small paper clip, like a folded out small paper clip, you can actually use that to do a battery reset. Sometimes if the computer's having issues turning on, you can use that little battery reset hole. You can just press and hold that for about 15 seconds, and then if you're lucky, it might turn back on. Okay, in this case, liquid was spilled or dripped onto this laptop. They said they had like a leak in their pipes and then water was dripping on it. So yeah, so we gotta take this completely apart. We're gonna dry it up and hopefully we can clean it up and get it working again. Hopefully there's no permanent damage, but he said it was in sleep mode, so there was power running to it, so there's a very good chance it's fried. Alright, so these screws in the back here are the longest. These two are a little bit shorter, and then these are even shorter. We are gonna have to break the factory seal, of course, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and we'll get that screw out as well. Right, the one in the middle there is, I think, about the same length as the ones in the back. Okay, but again, it's always a good idea to keep all your screws in order and not mix them all up. Okay, and then it looks like the screw down here is the same as the one there. And then, okay, I guess the ones all at the front are the same. So all these 4 are the same length as the 2 side ones. But again, it's always a good idea not to mix them up if you can help it. All right. Okay, now that we got all these screws out, let's see if we can pop open the bottom cover. Water was still actually coming out of this as I was working on it, so hopefully it's not going to pour out more, but we'll see. All right, so what I like to do is I get my fingernails in the gap, all right, where the palm rest and the bottom cover is. Okay, so I get my fingernails in that gap there, and then I'm going to push with my thumbs on the back here. Hopefully it pops out that way. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I did have to pull somewhat hard to undo the clips, so keep that in mind. Alright, so now we got the whole front out. Let's go to the side and continue the same. So we'll follow the, let me see if I can find it. We'll follow the gap there between the palm rest and the bottom cover, and let's see if we can do the same thing. Okay, just continue pushing on the back. Obviously you can use plastic pry tools, you don't have to use this method. I just use this because it's what works best for me and it's the tools I always have on hand. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and go over to this side and do the same thing. Okay, honestly I feel using fingernails, because I can push on the back cover like this, work a lot better. Okay, so we got the sides and the front out, as you can see. Whoa, what is this? A switch fell out. What is this? The camera switch. Okay, the camera switch randomly fell out, so I'm gonna have to figure out how that goes back in. Alright, and then on the back here, same thing. Go towards the back, and then again I'm pushing with my thumb on the back while pulling with my fingernails, and there we go. The whole bottom cover came out. Wow, that's a lot of water in there. I don't know about that. The whole battery is completely flooded, so chance of this thing surviving, I don't know, it's very slim, but we'll see. Alright, I'm gonna just dry this off with a paper towel. That's a lot of water in there. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to use my air blower to help dry this up, but we got that cleaned up for now. We'll set that aside. and we'll get this. Actually, I should disconnect the battery. So the battery connector is right here. I'm gonna kind of grab as close as I can to it. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Okay, I'm gonna grab as close as I can to it. It does have this little thing, you can kind of use a tool, but I'm gonna grab as close as I can to it and then kind of wiggle side to side. And you can see it's kind of coming out, so we're basically just gonna continue wiggling it side to side as we kind of pull, just like this, and hopefully it will eventually wiggle and walk its way out. Wow, that one stuck really strong there. Okay, so I don't know if it's gonna come out or not. I might need to use a little tool to help pull that if it's stuck there. Yeah, it's not quite coming out. So I'm gonna use a small flathead screwdriver to see if that will help. Okay, so I'll use a small flathead screwdriver and then in this gap help push that while I'm kind of pulling this and wiggling it. There we go. Okay, so we got that out. Now that the battery's disconnected, we'll continue drying this all up. That is a lot of water, so I don't know if there's a chance that this is going to survive or not, but I guess we'll see. Okay. The one good thing is, I don't think I see any in the motherboard. Oh, actually, there's a little where the SSD is here. Okay. Also, this is a second slot. Oops, sorry. I need to zoom out. I'll just leave it zoomed out since this is like the whole computer that's going to need to be worked on. So there's a second M.2 SSD here with the screw. There's a little water on top of here. We cleaned that out. Here's the battery reset button here that you can push through the bottom cover. All right, I do see water residue on this fan here. And if you're wiping this, be very careful because these heat pipes can be fragile. You don't want to push too hard on it and then end up bending those. Okay, somewhat good news is, well, he did say it happened like in the morning, so I don't know. Any residue that might have fried something might already be gone. So I don't know how bad this thing was originally. Okay, so this thing, we got to get it out, but as you can see, it's held down with adhesive. I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to get underneath there and just pour a little bit using that. And I'm going to use one of these little plastic tools to kind of just push the isopropyl alcohol underneath because there's adhesive there, and we got to somewhat dissolve that adhesive to peel this up easier so that we don't just tear it out. Okay, so I'm just going to slowly push the isopropyl alcohol under there, add a little more. Okay, and just slowly work our way through. You don't want to rush this and you don't want to end up tearing this cable, so we're just going to go very slow. Okay. All right. Get underneath and put some more isopropyl alcohol in there. All right. You can see as we slowly push, the tool can kind of get underneath the adhesive. You just got to work your way slowly across, all right? Again, you don't want to rush this. Okay, just keep going slowly. Okay, get more under there and just continue working our way across. Okay, keep going. Almost there. I know this is a long, slow process. You can fast forward if you want, but it's going to take you a while as well. So there we go. We got that out. Let's go ahead and actually remove the battery now. So the battery has several screws. We're going to remove those. Okay, if your screwdriver doesn't fit, you might need a better quality screwdriver set. Or you might need to use a smaller bit, but you want to be careful because if the bit is too small and wobbles around in the screw, you can easily strip the screw, and then you're going to be stuck with the thing in there forever. Okay, so I see 4 screws. I don't know if there's any other hidden screws, but I see 4. All right, one at each corner. All right, let's see if we can lift the battery up now. I'm going to go from the center here. I feel like something is holding it over here, but okay. Oh, there's one hidden screw here that was somewhat camouflaged by the cable. So there we go, 5 screws for the battery. Now let's lift it out. Okay, go from the center here, and be careful with that cable. Okay, so there's a little water underneath, but not a crazy amount. Uh-oh, it's going to the keyboard cable here. Be careful not to damage that cable. All right, so, oh, there's actually more here I didn't notice. Where's all this water? Is it leaking out of the battery? How did I not notice that before? Okay, so there we go. There's also like green corrosion on the battery, which has me worried. Yeah, I think water might be leaking out of the battery because as I clean it, more water is coming out. So this battery is very likely toast, but I guess we'll find out. Okay. The other thing that worries me is if I plug this battery in, if it's toasted, there's a chance if it didn't already kill the computer, it can. So. Alright, well, we'll set the battery aside. The battery model, if you're wondering, is right there, BTY-M6M1. Alright, so there we go. BTY-M6M1. Alright, let me clean this bottom cover a little bit better. So this also has like bunch of dust and stuff in it where the fans were, obviously, which is fine. And then most of the liquid I see was concentrated around the bottom where the battery was. Battery and touchpad and everything. He did say the screen was closed and it dripped on top, so that means it probably all concentrated around the edges. Hopefully it didn't go underneath the mouse and keyboard and everything. We're gonna go ahead and lift up the speakers. So let me see if I lift this one out. It's just held in with rubber. The cable's running around back there, so I gotta be careful. Okay, I don't see any water there, so I'm gonna put this back down. And let's take a look at this one. Okay, and this one looks okay as well. There's like a few small drips here, but not really. Okay, so we'll clean that up. Put that back. All right, the speakers look like they're connected right here, and these are actually a push-in connector. They put this rubber piece on top to help hold it in place. So let's see if I can. Okay, so it actually pulled out with that rubber piece, which is interesting. Usually they don't put something on top like that, and then you have to get underneath with a small tool to pry it up. So that's interesting. I'm gonna click that back down, and hopefully, oh, uh-oh, the other side doesn't want to go down now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Make sure to clip that in all the way, otherwise you're not gonna have full audio. Okay, we have the SSD here, so I'm not sure how important their data is to them, but hopefully at least the SSD is okay if the whole computer's fried. So after you remove that screw, this can lift up. Oh, there's actually a little water right there. Okay, slowly, carefully peel this up. Okay, you want to very slowly peel that up because there's a thermal pad underneath, and if you just rip it up, you can actually bend this SSD. So there we go. Inside here they have a, what is this? 1 terabyte pyrite. I've never heard of this brand. The memory is made by Micron. And yeah. Alright, anyways, this is Micron SSD, I guess. Yeah, it's made by Micron. Okay, we'll set that aside. It's an M.2 PCIe NVMe. Again, they have another slot here, so you can put two M.2 PCIe NVMe SSDs in there. I think we're going to have to pull the entire thing apart just in case. I don't think I need to undo the... Actually, I don't know if there's any hidden screws underneath the heatsink. There might be. If there are hidden like connectors and stuff under the heatsink, I don't know if I'm gonna want to take the entire thing apart. I might just use my powerful air blower to work on it, because if we have to redo all the thermal paste, that's gonna be a nightmare. Okay, anyway, sorry, I forgot I'm zoomed in. So we're gonna check on the RAM here. So I'm gonna get my fingernail underneath this metal plate and then just pull it up. Okay, and this, you kind of have to teeter-totter it. So while I was pulling it, I was actually rotating it to try and pull up just the back side. Okay, because, yeah. All right, here's the RAM. So 2 slots, pull these 2 tabs to the side, pops up, and then you can pull it out. This is PC5 4800B. So PC5 4800B. You should be okay to use any PC5 4800B RAM. I don't know if there's other DDR5 laptop RAMs, because I haven't seen too many yet, but that's one of them apparently. Okay, so you should be able to use any DDR5 RAM in here. So if you find 2 16 gig sticks, or you want to use 2 32 gig sticks, yeah, go for it. It should work just fine. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip this box over. I'm gonna line up the metal clips here, and then the back one should also line up. So we'll line up that, clip that in, and then we'll click that in. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna try and take out just a few pieces without taking out the heatsink and see if we can lift the whole motherboard up. If we can't, then we're just gonna try and dry out everything underneath and hope that's good. All right, so we got a fan screw here. And usually I like to kind of go across, but we'll see depending on what's going on here. I'm gonna put this M.2 SSD screw back here just in case. Okay, so I don't lose it. All right, let's see, are there any other weird ones? Okay, since the fan has its screws like this, I'm just gonna take out these 2 screws first. And I don't know, these screws might be going into the motherboard as well, so we might actually have to take the whole heatsink out. We'll take this out. I'm hoping that won't be the case, but it likely will be. Okay, so actually this is kind of lifting up. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of lifting up like nothing's holding it down. So it might come up with just removing the other screws. Let's see what else we got. There's a screw hidden underneath the wireless card here. So we are going to have to lift that up. So I'm going to peel the wireless card, this Kapton tape, and then to remove the antennas, I go from the tail. It's going to be annoying having to zoom in and zoom out and zoom in and zoom out, but let's see what I can do. All right, so I'm going to go from the tail and then pull up from the tail as close as possible, and then pull up from this one as well. Okay, so this antenna I just removed has a red thing wrapped around it, and that's for the white arrow, and then the black arrow looks like it doesn't have one, so we're going to pull that up as well. All right, we're going to now undo the screw for the wireless card, and it pops up like that. Set that screw aside. Okay, if you're wondering, this is an Intel Killer AX1675i. All right, you might want to check your own, but there you go. And the model, Intel model, is AX211NGW. Okay, all that is in that corner right there. So we'll set the wireless card aside, and there's a screw under here, so we're going to remove that. Okay, and what else? We got another screw down here. I forgot I zoomed in a lot, so I gotta pay attention and make sure you guys can see everything. Oh yeah, there's another switch down here, which I'm not sure what it's for. It says SW5. Pretty sure the other one was the... Yeah, this one is the like battery reset. I don't know what the other one is for. I'm not gonna press it just in case it can damage something. Okay, Got this screw down here. And we might as well remove this board. Actually, this board looks like it might have some corrosion there. So one screw there, one screw down here. This laptop doesn't have all the little markers on it like a lot of other models do, so I guess you gotta keep track. All right. And since there's some corrosion there, let's try and wipe it. Oh yeah, that cleaned off. All right. And I'm gonna use a toothbrush to help kind of clean the corrosion. I'm not too sure how this little switch was sitting. It looks like, okay, it looks like there's a little notch in this. Oops. Almost lost it. All right, it looks like there's a little notch in there, so that probably lines up with the switch. I don't know if it goes on top or below though. I think it goes underneath. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go that way, so I think this goes underneath here, and then you get it, yeah, lined up with that notch, and then now you can see we can use that switch. Okay, so yeah, keep that in mind because this thing is just gonna fall out, so make sure to put it back. All right, let's see what else. Oh, there's a lot of water under here. Okay, let's lift the speaker connection back out. Okay, pull that back up. Yeah, there's a lot of water underneath this, so we are gonna have to take it all out. Okay, let's peel up this tape here. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to take all this out, but I guess we will. All right, to make it easier, I am gonna undo the heatsink. So let's zoom out here and let's undo that. Okay, so how are they numbered? I see a 6. There's like 13. There's 13 screws in here. What? What? 4, 2, 6. What is this? Wait, these. What? Okay, these are screws too, apparently, and they also hold screws that the case, like the case goes into. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, so we're gonna take that out. Where did I get those? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I gotta make sure I get all these screws back in right as well. So these screws are weird because they have this plastic thing on top, and then it doesn't unscrew easily, so you have to use like pliers or something to twist it. Okay, and then once you get it going, you can kind of use your fingers to do it, I think. Since the plastic washer's on top, you can't really use the hex thing, like bit, to get it out. So let's see, hopefully it's not quite coming out. Okay, it's wobbling, but for some reason it's not easy to twist by hand. Okay, there we go. Okay, and the fan plug is actually in the way a bit on this side. Come on, why is it so difficult to twist? Almost there. Okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, I don't know what this little squished rubber washer is on top. You can probably take it out, but I'm gonna leave it on there. Okay, now let's see, can we lift this whole thing? No, I think, okay, we're very likely going to have to undo the whole heatsink. Alright, so if you're wondering screw wise, they do have numbers across the entire thing. So this is screw number 1, screw number 2, screw number 3, screw number 4, number 5, number 6. I'm assuming there's a bunch under here. What? Okay, they're covered so I can't see it. Okay, this is number 7. I'm assuming this is number 8. Alright. 8. Pretty sure. I'll peel this off to check. Yep, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so anyways, we gotta remove all of those. So we already removed the 1 to 5 or 6, sorry. So we're gonna do, I think this was 7. Okay, and these screws, they also come out, so make sure to keep track of them. That's a lot. All right, 6 or 7, 8, 9. These are smaller silver screws. 9, okay, 10, 11, 12, and 13 here. Alright, so we got all those. Am I missing any screws? Oh, we do need to disconnect a lot of these cables here. This cable is underneath the motherboard, but it looks like this one is on top. I'm going to use the little plastic tool here to kind of pick at the adhesive to get it out of the way. Okay. It's annoying how much tape they put over all these connectors. So we gotta kind of peel it all aside. Okay. Once you peel that aside, let me zoom in here. Okay, there's a flip latch. You gotta flip that black latch up. Once you flip that up, we can pull this out. Okay. Just like that. Make sure there's no corrosion on the connector since it's liquid damage, obviously. Alright, and then we got, let's see, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to keep all this in view zoomed in like this, but we'll see. Okay, then we got this connector. Let's go ahead and disconnect that just in case. Actually, is one side underneath and one side on top? I don't know, that's kind of weird. Alright, well, let's just peel it up anyways. So we'll peel that out. Oh, that came off all the way. I'll just move that over there. Flip that latch up. Okay, and then pull this out. Make sure it's up all the way. There we go. And this looks okay. Alright, we got another little connector here. So we'll peel that up as well. Come on. Peel that adhesive up. Come on, let go. Oh, there's water under this connector as well, so we're gonna have to be careful with that. Okay, so peel that up out of the way. Flip that latch up. Alright, I'm going to set that aside there, flip that latch up, and then pull that out. There's a lot of water under this one. Okay, I don't know if you can see that driplet, but there's water there. Okay, make sure this connector looks okay, yep. Alright. So, what am I missing? Are there more screws? Because, okay, it popped up. I think there's like little plastic raised posts here that are kind of holding it in place. Yeah. Okay, let me zoom out more again. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can avoid taking the heat sinks out, but there might be screws hidden underneath that require it to be removed. Actually, the heatsink screws are staying in place. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and put these back. 7, because it looks like they're actually mounted directly to the motherboard. 8. I hope I don't need to take it out to remove these connectors though. Actually, let's just take it out. Guess we're gonna have to redo thermal paste here because this connector is going underneath. So I gotta move this cable over so it's not on top of that fan piece. Let's go ahead and get these fans out. So I'm gonna get my fingernails on the wings and just wiggle as I pull. Okay, wiggle as I pull. Take note of the color of the wires. The red wire is going out towards the outside of the laptop, and then this one, the red wire is going up towards the back, and the yellow is going down. The other way you can take note of it is the solid part of the connector is facing towards the fan here, and same thing with this one. All right, so this side you can actually see the metal pins. This side it's solid. That's the part that points towards the fans. All right, so let's see if we can lift this up and out. There's some adhesive under there, which is why I'm taking this out. So I'm gonna push with my thumbs here and then very slowly pull up. You don't want to just try and yank it out real fast, because the thermal paste, somewhat like a non-Newtonian fluid thing, paste, and if you pull slow, it will eventually peel away. Let's actually also lift this box back out. I have to tell the customer this is probably going to cost more than I expected to do. Alright, so we'll take that out. I'm going to slowly pull up on the heatsink here. There's so many thermal pads here, oh my god, and they're like stuck on there real strong. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out. It's going to take like very long, constant pressure. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a very big pain to peel away. But I think it's going to need to be done, sadly, because something's holding this down. There's maybe a screw hidden under here. Or is it one of those plastic posts? No, I don't see one there. Oh yeah, there's a screw hidden underneath the heatsink there. So we definitely need to get the heatsink out, which it's a pain. Okay, I'm gonna try and again slowly pull. Okay, that's coming up. I'm gonna slowly work our way over to here, pulling on the heatsink but pushing down on the board, and this is slightly lifting up. Let's get over here and same thing. Slowly pull on this. Oh, this is going to be very difficult to remove. Jeez. Okay, it's slowly lifting. There we go. All right, so we're going to get this metal box and again, just put it over here. And now hopefully we can lift this whole thing up. There we go. Flip that over. And here you can see all the paste and everything in there. The paste is likely good, so I might just scrape some in towards the center and then smush it back down. We'll see, depending on what's going on. Alright. If the paste isn't very goopy and it's kind of like solid, then I'll have to redo the whole thing. But this paste, actually this one's kind of solid here. Okay, you see how it's kind of like solid like that and not like goopy? So I'm probably going to have to redo all the paste, which is going to be annoying. That's a lot of paste to redo. Let's see the paste on the GPU. It's more gloopy, but not completely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo it, I think. So we'll just scrape off all this old paste. Okay, so scrape up all this. The other stuff, this putty things, I'm gonna leave that. Okay, but this paste I think I need to redo because it's not quite goopy enough anymore. Okay, so scrape up all that. And we'll do the same with the heatsink as well. Obviously, you don't want to leave the old paste on the heatsink. Okay, so we'll go ahead and scrape off the old paste from the heatsink as well. And then I'm going to have to clean it up with isopropyl alcohol later. But for now, we're just going to scrape it off. Yeah, you can see how it's kind of solidified. It's supposed to be like a paste. Yeah, this stuff is kind of solidified now. The only thing is, if it doesn't work, that's going to be a huge waste of thermal paste. So I'm probably going to see if it powers up first before I use the paste. Oops, I got paste on my fingers. Okay. We'll clean up this as well. Oh, is that water there? Yep. So there's some water got all the way under here. That has me pretty worried. Okay, there's the one screw I was talking about there. So we got to remove that as well. Okay, now I think we can lift it. There is this cable, which is the LCD LVDS connector. So we're going to get that out as well. Peel this up. Flip the latch here up. Okay, I'm going to try and peel the tape away and leave it attached. There we go. And then wiggle and pull that. All right, that's actually a small connector. I don't think that's a, is there another one here? It looks like, okay. So it looks like there's another cable here, which that's the LCD LVDS connector. The other one's probably for like the cameras and maybe microphones and other stuff. Okay, so we'll peel that, flip that latch, and then hopefully we can get this one out. Okay, lift it slightly and pull it back. There was one step, I don't know if I showed. I did hold this button, but after disconnecting the battery, usually it's a good idea to open the laptop and then press and hold the power button for like 15 seconds or longer. Okay, so I'm going to open that and I'm going to press the hold the power button for 15 seconds. Most likely the water already kind of caused it to short out and drain the power from it, but we'll just do it anyways. All right, power button's built into the keyboard. We didn't even disconnect the keyboard cable yet, so we should be good. All right, so got all of that. Disconnected these. We just need to make sure the motherboard can go around it. Yep. Right, so we're gonna lift up from here carefully, slowly. Again, the keyboard is connected from the other side, so we have to be careful. We're gonna have to disconnect that. So flip that. Oh my goodness, that, I think it's fried. That's a lot of water in there. All right, so we're gonna dry this up. I'm gonna peel this thing off and then disconnect the keyboard cable. I'm pretty sure it's dead though. So at this point, we're probably doing this all for nothing. But let's go ahead and just get it all cleaned up. You never know. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna peel this off and then flip this latch and then disconnect this cable. Okay. Here we go. And look at this. Look how bad that is. It's all green and white and crusty. Oh, that's definitely burnt. That's definitely toast. Yeah. Like all across the bottom of this board is bad, really bad. So I'll clean this up some. I doubt it's gonna survive. Even this got all rusty here. This looks really bad. Yeah, there's no chance. For sure this thing is toast. But we'll clean it up and put it back together. I'll skip the thermal paste part because there's gonna be no point, especially with, look at that. Yeah, but I'll clean it up and then we'll put it back together and we'll see. But look at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that, how gross that is. Yeah, there's no way that's survived. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe it off though, wipe off all that grossness. Okay. Alright. So wipe away the grossness here. And then put it all back together. Wow, that's pretty bad. There's so much water under there. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't think there's any chance this is gonna survive, especially with that toasted out piece. Okay, so I'll clean up some more, dry it up. I'm gonna use my air blower to kind of blow it a bit. Use a little distilled water to kind of help clean out this gross residue here, but I'm pretty sure there's like 0 chance. So I'm gonna have to let the customer know, sadly. We're gonna put it back together and yeah. Okay. Probably need to send them some pictures of the bottom of the motherboard just so they can see. This thing off a bit. Toothbrush, okay. Brush it up. And throw that dust away. Alright, I'm going to clean the board real quick and I'll be back. The bottom of the keyboard does look a lot better. I'm going to use my powerful electric air blower to blow from the other side as well, just to see if any more liquid will get pushed out. But yeah, I'll be back in a bit. See you guys. Alright, so I'm back. Cleaned it up quite a bit on the back. You can see this is quite a bit cleaner as well. Okay, and then here you can see I cleaned off a lot of the corrosion. Where's that burnt up one? Yeah, that's not going to fix that piece there. It got like kind of pretty bad. Like you can see the copper now instead of the pad. I don't know about any of the rest, but I guess we'll find out. We'll reassemble it and we'll wish for luck. I don't know what this PU5, that's the one that looked the worst earlier. Look exploded, but doesn't look completely destroyed now, but all right, we'll find out. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. So we'll turn it this way. We're gonna get the keyboard back in first, so make sure the latch is flipped up right and that we can get this in. Okay, I need to put that way first. We need to peel this adhesive away so that we can get that back in. Okay, also I don't know if the keyboard is fried either. There was a lot of liquid underneath. I kind of blew it out, but I don't know, it's probably also fried. And if the keyboard's fried, the power button won't even work, so there's that. Alright, so we'll get that connector in, and then while we're holding it in, latch that down. Alright, and then put that tape back on top. This kind of has some gross residue. Alright, we're going to flip this back over. And then the tricky part is making sure all the connectors end up back on top. So what do we have? We have the speaker, we have the 2 ones that go into the screen, and then we got the 3 cables down here. So I'm going to slide this so that these end up on top first. And we also have that touchpad cable. Okay, so slide that down. Line that up so there's a little raised post there. Lining that up. And now we got to get these cables out from under there. Okay, so hold those up and out of the way and then drop this into place. Okay, I'll line this side up, and you gotta line up that raised mount here. It can be a little tricky. Come on, get in. This raised plastic mount's gonna be a pain, huh? There we go. Okay, make sure that lines up. Sorry if my head was in the way. All right, and then we can go ahead and start putting some of the screws back. So this one was hidden underneath the heatsink, so I'm going to put that one first. Make sure this is all lined up right. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to snap in the speaker connector. Just line that up. I'm going to do the left side first just because the thing's not lined up centered, so it's easier to push that side with the rubber and then push that side down by hand. Okay, we got this piece. We're going to put those two screws back in. And there's also a raised plastic mount there, so make sure you put that back on right. Alright, so I told the customer chances of it being alive is very low. And we'll see. I told them probably the SSD and RAM might be okay, but we'll see. Alright, slide your finger over to latch that down. And tape this back over the top here. Okay. Can actually put in the SSD. Take that screw out. Get the SSD in. I'm not going to be zooming in and out anymore since I already showed close-up of kind of everything. So, or what I could while I was focusing on this. Alright, that's in. Let's get this cable. Make sure that's up. Push that in, okay, and then once that's in, slide your finger over to latch it down. One thing I forgot to mention, there's the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery here. It's a CR1220W, okay, if you're curious. Let me get this back on here. Okay, we'll get this little cable back in as well. Then slide your finger over the latch. There we go. Get this thing back down. Alright, we'll get the wireless card in. Oh, one thing to take note of. We do need to get this motherboard screw in before the wireless card. So tighten that. Let's actually get all of them in. Put this one down here as well. And then the last one over in this corner. Hopefully I'm getting all the right screws in the right spots. Okay, we'll get this back in as well. Put this upside down. Come on. Oh, I think I stuck it to itself. There we go. Okay, get the LCD LVDS cable in. This one can be a little tricky. You kind of have to pull it back a little. Oh, I undid the tape. Well, we'll set that aside for now. So we'll pull this cable back. Make sure that latch stays up. It's wanting to go in at an angle. Oh, it has a little clear tab that you can kind of pull on. That will help. Oops, I accidentally got the thermal paste on my hand. Okay, I'm going to rotate this way and zoom in a little bit. This has a little plastic tab that will help you kind of align it and pull it into place. This cable's a little tricky to get in. There we go. Okay, and then latch that over. And we will put this piece back on top here. I don't know what the Kapton tape is there for, but it was there, so we're just going to put it back. Alright, and we got this cable. Make sure that's in all the way. And then slide your finger over to latch it down. Was it always just sideways like that? I think. Okay, I'll stick that on. Okay, wireless card here. Make sure the antennas end up underneath, or sorry, on top. Okay. The one with the red thing goes to the white, and then the other one goes to the black. So we gotta line these up. I like to kind of wiggle it around till it like hooks on, and then click it down. Okay, come on, there we go. There we go. And then this one. There we go. And click that down. There we go. Tape that over the top there. What else do we got? We got the heatsink screws, the fan screws, and the other fan screws, and then we got the battery. Okay, so we're almost done. Let's go ahead and put the heatsink back on. Again, I'm not going to bother doing the thermal paste for now because I want to make sure it even turns on. If it turns on, then I will go ahead and reapply the thermal paste. For now, we're just going to line it up and smush it back down. Okay, get the screws all lined up. Screw mounts lined up. Okay, looks good. Looks good. All right. Also, the fans are removable. There are these tiny screws. So if you want to undo the screws, you can actually separate the fan from the heatsink, but you do have to take the whole heatsink out in order to be able to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting the other screws. So where'd we go? Let's go ahead and put the RAM cover back on first. Okay, so we got number 2 here. Where's number 1? 6, 3, 2. Okay, 1 is over here. So let's go ahead and put number 1 first. Again, I didn't redo the thermal paste, but if you're doing this, you really want to redo the thermal paste if you're taking the fans out. Let's go ahead and plug these fans back in. Okay, very important. Otherwise, your computer's going to just overheat and fry the CPU and GPU. Okay, we'll push this back in. Okay, so screw number 1 completed. Screw number 2 here completed. Screw number 3 down here completed. Screw number 4 up here completed. Screw number 5, this one. Okay, so to screw this in, I'm going to use one of the other screws. So we can probably do it with the battery screw. Let's try it. So I'm going to screw, oh, nope, we can't do it with the battery screw. It just falls in. Okay, so don't use the battery screw. It uses one of the bottom cover screws. So I'm going to use the shortest bottom cover screw. And I'm just going to screw that onto there. And then we'll use that to help screw this in. Okay, and then once I tighten that all the way down, I'm going to use the needle nose pliers to hold that and then unscrew it. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So that was number 5. Now we're going to do number 6. Again, put that screw into the post and then tighten that down there. Then I'll hold that and undo the screw. Okay. Shouldn't need that anymore. Okay, so number 6 is done. Then we got number 7, if I remember correctly, was this one, right? Yep. 7. Then number 8 over here. Number 9. If you want to see how to apply thermal paste, I do have other videos showing that process. So if you want to see, you can watch. Let me know. I can actually send you one of those videos or my whole playlist where I redo thermal paste. Right, number 10, 11, okay, 12. And I'm gonna see if I can power this up without the battery first. And 13 here, just in case, because the battery did have a lot of liquid in it. I just noticed this portion has a lot of residue. You see that? I don't know if I can clean that off, but we'll try. Okay. Alright, let's see. That clean off. Oh, it does. Okay, I don't know why I didn't see that before. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and get the plug it in, and see what we got. Right, I'm back. Let's hope it doesn't like start smoking or going on fire. We are gonna put that little switch back under there as well. So get that lined up and just in. Oh, maybe I should undo the screw here to make it easier to get that in. Okay. It's probably just gonna fall out again, so I have to be careful with that. All right, let's plug this in and see what we got. So we got the plug here. The charge port is a little weird looking. It's that. Plugged it in. Are there any lights on this thing? I don't see any. Okay, let's carefully, I'm gonna turn it sideways and open this up. Okay, we got it open. Power button. Nothing. Yeah, I'm sure it's completely fried. Nothing's happening at all. I'm gonna try the battery reset just in case. The little button on the motherboard. Let's try again. Nothing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's toast. So I'm gonna have to see what the customer wants to do, if they want me to leave the SSD out so they can get their data. Let's go ahead and put the battery back in. So the battery, just line it up. Just like that. Drop everything in. Okay, we'll get all these screws back in. Some laptops require the battery and the charger, so let's try that, but I doubt that's gonna help this. Okay. The last battery screw here. Okay, I think this went on first, and then this went in here. So line that up, and then I like to pinch both together, just like that, so it's not putting all the pressure into one spot. And yeah, all right, we got it all plugged back together, and let's go ahead and plug this in again. Also, this cable seems pretty loose, but I'm assuming that's just how it was. Oh, actually, I see the light blinking on the side here. It flashed a little bit and then it stopped. I don't know. The fan is on, it's spinning on its own. I see the power light on the thing is on right now. Oops, I knocked over my dust blower. Okay, well, the fan's spinning and the power light is on, but I don't think anything's gonna happen. Oh, actually, the heck? Where'd it go? The MSI logo just flashed on for a second. There you go. It's just flashing on and off. I'll be amazed if it's working now. Wow, the keyboard's lighting all rainbowy. Nope, it turns on and off. Is it because I reset the BIOS with that battery reset? Is it gonna stay on? Come on. Oh, it's loading. Wow, oh. It's actually on. It's actually on right now, you guys. I don't know if stuff is gonna, the screen keeps going on and off. And now it just shut off completely. And that might be because it overheated. So let's redo the thermal paste. Hope we have some luck. And yeah, all right, we're gonna pull these connectors up. Okay, let's pull the fan connectors up. Let's actually disconnect the battery again. wiggle and pull. Okay, I'm gonna drain the power once again. I'm amazed it even powered up with how bad that thing looked. I don't know how much of the keyboard or anything is gonna work, but we'll just hope we're lucky. All right, I'm gonna press and hold the power button for 15 seconds again. All right, again, this makes it a lot safer to work on. I hope it just shut off just because it got too hot. Then we should be okay. We're gonna redo the thermal paste and hopefully we have good luck. All right, let's pull these out. There's no particular order you need to undo them. Oh, that's gonna be a pain. I gotta take these out again. And I tightened them really well this time. So I gotta use this to undo it. Okay. Alright, let's get these out. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to power up at all. That's somewhat amazing. I don't know if it died just because of the heat. It's gonna suck if I waste all that thermal paste to do this. But it is what it is. We'll give it a shot. Okay, let's take this guy out. Okay, and let's lift this back up again. Gotta go carefully, slowly. Let's lift this metal RAM cover again. Okay, so now we gotta clean off all the thermal paste and then reapply. So we'll use first a clean paper towel and just wipe the excess that's already on there. Okay, next we'll apply isopropyl alcohol on top just to help dissolve it a little bit. Okay, we'll get some more paper towel and then we'll wipe that away. Okay, that one was actually pretty clean. This one has stuff that's going to be permanently stuck, it seems. Okay, yeah, the GPU must have been running really hot because the stuff won't come off completely. But take out what we can. There we go. All right, next we've got to clean up this. Okay, same idea. We're just gonna rub this. Coming out. All right. Gonna have to use some more isopropyl alcohol for this. Okay. Now we got that with rubbing alcohol all over it. Let's wipe it off some more. It's okay for it to get some scratches. The thermal paste stuff is supposed to fill those little gaps to make it get a better solid thermal, what do you call, thermal connection or whatever. Alright. Alright, it's a lot cleaner. We're going to use a little bit more paper towel and isopropyl alcohol and clean it one more time just to make sure. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. The outer edges of this one's not really important, but clean it up a little bit anyways. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead now and reapply thermal paste and hope it stays on and that it just shut off because of the heat issue. I'm somewhat doubting it, but might as well give it a shot. Alright, let's zoom in here. I hope I have enough paste in this tube, otherwise I'm going to need a new one. Okay, so these are somewhat like elongated, so we're going to have to put like long fat PE looking things. This thing will spread it super thin, so it might look like we're not putting enough, but it'll spread it super thin, so it'll squeeze it out and end up touching the entire thing. Alright, we're gonna put it on this too. This one's super thin and narrow, so kind of need a long thing here. This one kind of needs one like this. Okay, so just like that. I think I used up this whole tube and just had barely enough. There's a little more in here. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Let's go ahead now and put the thing back. So you saw how to do it earlier. Basically just screw it all down in that order. Okay, I'm gonna line this back up, put that box up. Okay, this lined up, get this lined up. Make sure this cable goes around and back on top of the fan. Okay, and make sure this drops into place nicely. Good. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and plug the fans back in. Actually, I should have brushed off the fans here real quick. Aren't really dusty, but might as well. Okay. There we go. Let's go ahead and get these screws in. So we had, oh, let's actually put this box on first. Okay. Had number 1 over here. Completed. Number 2. Completed. Number 3. Completed. Number 4. Completed. I need that screw to put that post back in. Number 5. Completed. Number 6. Completed. Okay. Number 7 over here. Completed. Number 8 over here. Completed. Number 9. Completed. Number 10. My worry is the battery, even if this works, the battery might be bad. So we'll see. Number 11. Number 12. And the last one, number 13 here. Perfect. All right, let's plug the battery back in and wish for the best. Pull that in, get the plug, put that back in. Okay, I see the light here flashing again. I don't know if you saw it, but it flashed. Oh, it's flashing again. Is it just gonna keep flashing? Nope, it's not lighting up anymore. Okay, let's rotate this sideways and see if we can power it on. Okay, oh, I can't grab in there. Okay, there we go. And actually the power light is already on. So I don't know if that means the power button is toast. It's turning itself on and off again. It's doing the same thing like last time. The MSI logo comes on and off and on and off. This time the fans aren't going crazy for some reason. Oh, probably because it's actually putting the heat. There you go, the fans just turned on. Yeah, now that the heat's actually going into the heatsink, it's actually waiting for the fans to turn on. Before, the fans were staying at full blast the whole time. All right, and it's turning on. Or I thought it was. Come on, wake up. Okay, the power light just went off. The power light's off. Can I turn it back on? Nope. I think the power button is probably toast. So maybe it is working, but maybe the keyboard thinks the power button's being held down. So at the minimum, we would need a replacement keyboard. This is a MSI Stealth GS77. Yeah, right now it's not turning on. Let's see what happens if I push the battery reset button and then let go. Nothing. Nothing. Let's try pulling this out and then plugging it back in. Nothing. Okay, let's try unplugging the battery here and then do a battery reset here. I think I redid all that thermal paste for nothing. Let's hold the button. And then plug it back in. Anything? No flashy lights here. I don't think it's gonna turn on. Nope. Nope. I have a feeling it might be the keyboard that's preventing it from turning on. Because the keyboard did have a lot of like liquid damage in it. Let's actually pull the CMOS BIOS battery out, disconnect it. Also keep in mind, if you're replacing this, the red wire is going towards the outside, the black one's going towards the RAM. I'm going to short the CMOS BIOS thing. I'm also going to press and hold this to drain any residual power. Okay, it shouldn't take that long to reset the BIOS. Let's go ahead and plug this back in. Let's plug the battery back in. It could be the battery, it could be the power button, it could be the... Okay, this is flashing again. Let's see. Yeah, the keyboard turned itself on again, or the power button. So, I don't know. It could be the keyboard is having the issue. It could be the motherboard is because it had that burnt up thing. So, I don't know exactly which one is causing the problem. Right now, it's not doing anything. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope. It flashed for a second. The MSI was on, and then the keyboard lit up. There's the MSI, and then the keyboard, and then it shuts off. The problem is the keyboard connector's on the bottom of the motherboard, so I can't just unplug that and then check it. Okay, it's loading Windows right now. Hear the fan spinning. Keyboard's all lit up, and it shut off. Yeah, I have a feeling, I don't know, it can be multiple components, so it's hard to say which one it is, but it's not completely powering up anymore, so I think that might be it for this thing. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and reassemble this, I guess. Pretty simple, straightforward, just get the bottom cover. You do want to make sure this camera thing doesn't get caught when you're putting this back together, so keep that in mind. Alright, let's get this back lined up, and now we have it cleaned up, we can get a better thumbnail. Okay, so the camera thing, it does slot through there, so we do have to kind of get this one in first, line that up. Yeah, that side needs to be lined up first for sure. But how do I do that? You have to kind of do it at an angle like this, but it's being kind of a pain. Should I slide it? Let's slide it to the off position. Let's see if I can. You gotta line up the headphone jack as well. Do I need to tilt it up a lot more? Is that what's going on? This is not easy to get back on. So this side, you have to kind of angle the casing outwards so that you can line up the headphone jack. Let me open the screen so it's easier. Okay. So open that, and then we'll angle this. Get it all lined up. Get it all lined up. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, then we gotta click this stuff back into place. Jeez, why is it so difficult? Clicking. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now you have access to the camera button again, or switch. Alright, then we're just gonna go all around and click everything back together. So click that all back in, click that back in. Alright, and then the obvious thing is just getting all the screws back in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. You're welcome to stay as I get all this back together, obviously, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, I wonder why they say the screw length on this, M2.5, 3.5 millimeter, but they don't say all the other ones. Kind of weird. Okay, maybe they want to just make sure you don't put the super long screws in these super short holes, because then you can actually destroy your computer. I've seen it happen. So, yeah. Alright. I have a feeling probably the keyboard is the issue. Alright, and there we go. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.